Hello, and welcome to the latest edition of Home Movies with Kristen Burrell. Today we're going to be reviewing the movie Mozart and the Whale, starring Josh Hartnett and Radha Mitchell. The movie is essentially a love story between two people who have Asperger's syndrome. Josh Hartnett plays Donald Morton, a very sensitive, quiet gentleman with a fixation on numbers. Think Dustin Hoffman in Rain Man. He has no problem communicating with others, except that he's a little awkward. And essentially, he gets nervous in bad situations and he tends to walk away, usually to a nearby parking garage where he counts the numbers on different cars' license plates. He's very lonely, so he's created a group where different people on the autism spectrum meet on a regular basis. In comes Isabel, played by Radha Mitchell, who is a force of nature. Who She comes to one of the meetings and she falls for Donald. She's loud. Often she yells "Ha!" After she says something particularly out of place or rude. She's probably higher functioning on the spectrum than Donald because she's managed to open her own hair salon and take care of herself since she was a teenager. The movie opens with Donald actually losing his job as a taxi cab driver, and later Isabel actually cleans his apartment for him because we've seen that he lives in basically a disaster area. Isabel is also very aware of her autism, and she doesn't care what anyone thinks about her. So, all in all, this sounds like a win for showing two people with autism in a movie, right? Wrong. In the DSM 5, autism is diagnosed based on persistent deficits in social communication and interaction and restricted repetitive patterns of behavior, interests, and activities. Everyone in the movie has these issues exactly. They have social interaction problems, everyone from Donald and Isabel to everybody in the group that Donald meets with. This is, why they sought each other out in the first place. They also have something that they're repeatedly fixed on, such as Donald with his numbers. Isabel is in love with her rabbit that she carries around with her. There's another girl in the group who's very fixated on history and different dead presidents, basically. So technically, these characters all meet the diagnosis for autism. So, what's the problem with the movie? It's that each of these characters is a complete caricature, though. They only meet the exact diagnosis for autism, and they only meet it sometimes. There's many, many times in the movie when you're basically watching a love story between two people who are just maybe a little weird, a little off, but ultimately they have a group of friends who are rooting for them, and, they're trying to make their relationship work. And, of course, every now and again, Isabel freaks out because she's scared of metal clinging together. And Donald gets upset because Isabel moves all of his stuff, and so it's not, in place. Um, and so, it's like every other romantic comedy, though. And autism is ultimately thrown in there as the hurdle that they have to overcome in order to be together, in order to make their relationship work. And they do overcome it. In the end, it's a romantic comedy, and love wins. It's just like what the tagline on the movie cover says. Right here is the movie cover, and it says here that they don't fit in except together. And so ultimately, what this is a romantic comedy, and love wins. And unfortunately, the people who actually are diagnosed with autism in real life once again lose. And I say that because it seems like everyone in the movie that has autism really wants to be normal. And they want to overcome their disease. And if they could just do that, they would be normal. And unfortunately, that's just not actually the case. I want to close with reading something from our book that is one of the people who was interviewed by, Miss Cluth here, that they actually had something to say about autism and normality. And here it is. Autism isn't something a person has or a shell that a person is trapped inside. There's no normal child hidden behind the autism. Autism is a way of being. And so that's what I wanted to end with. Overall, not a bad romantic comedy, but I would not suggest Mozart and the Whale as a true depiction of someone who has autism or is on the spectrum. Thank you.